Like I said, we're going to represent weapons used by the British Army and also by the larger British Commonwealth, which was the term as the British Empire became more a collection of a mix of independent countries, loyal countries that were had their own governments, and also there were still colonial elements such as India during the Second World War. The blanket term for that became known as the Commonwealth. That included countries like Canada and Australia, as well as the colonial powers of South Africa and some of the other countries. So a lot of that equipment and weaponry was used and produced identically across the entire empire. So we're going to talk first about the Lee-Enfield rifle, which, the Lee-Enfield rifle was a bolt-action rifle developed right around the turn of the century. So it was similar to the, in terms of age, to the U.S. 1903 Springfield rifle that we saw here. The difference being it was a little bit older style cartridge called the 303 British, which the British used all through World War I, World War II, and a little bit into the 1950s before retiring for the NATO 308 or 7.62x51. It was a rimmed cartridge, which caused all kinds of problems with the automatic weapons, which we'll talk about. But it was the British stuck to the same designs in a lot of ways. Eventually, they went from this, the number 1 Mark III Lee-Enfield, which is a 10-round bolt-fed, to the number 4 Mark I, which was the same as we've heard with a lot of these weapons, as they went to more stamped parts, easier to machine parts, to produce them just faster and cheaper, especially as Britain was an island cut off by U-boats. They had to really try to make the most of their economics. So we're going to talk about, now one of the things that's unique about this rifle is it's probably one of the fastest firing bolt-action rifles ever developed. It cocks on close, it's got a low draw, and so it can be fired very, very quickly. And even though the British never fielded a semi-automatic rifle during the Second World War, it gave off a very comparable rate of fire when compared with the German Mauser or the 1903 Springfield. So we're going to do a quick demonstration of both rifles. Ready? Okay. Yep. That's good. Yeah. Right. So, now, even though that was a fast-firing bolt-action rifle, they needed to have other supporting fire. The main supporting fire came from the Bren light machine gun. This fired the same cartridge as the rifles, so the ammo was interchangeable, but it did have a 30-round box magazine, and it was able to fire fully automatic or semi-automatic. It was actually quite accurate. It would be comparable in terms of the utility to the Browning automatic rifle, the BAR the Americans carried. I would say the British relied more heavily on the Bren because the Americans' semi-automatic rifles allowed for more supporting fire from the actual rifleman, where you really had to rely on the Bren being up and putting on that suppressive fire. So this one is, of course, like many other weapons here, is semi-automatic, but we can do a quick demonstration of a little bit of what it would look like.
The Bren operated in a two-man team. The gunner and his second. His second was in charge of changing his magazines and changing his barrels as they got hot. So that's why there's always two people. Everyone in the unit carried Bren magazines. Every person responsible carried at least 2 magazines in their pouches, if not 4, up to 10, depending if you were a number 2 or not. And it was a number 2's guy to get the ammunition from the squad as they needed it. So that's why we operate in the way we do with pairs and my pouches.
And the British did field several submachine guns. I unfortunately don't have the Sten light machine gun here to demonstrate, but if you'd like to, you can always look that up as well. But otherwise, these were really the baseline of the firing line for the British Army. So I think we have German arms up next.